Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to deep dive into AI and to see if perhaps it can help our normal home cooks in the kitchen by combining ingredients that might otherwise be tricky to put together.
Yeah, so we're going to take artificial intelligence app ChatGPT, which has been blowing up across the internet, and we're going to put a series of ingredients into it and see if it can come up with a recipe that might be better than one that we would come up with.
So rather than relying on a bunch of ingredients that we know are going to work, we're going to leave this up to fate by choosing ingredients out of these glasses.
Pick one from each: a protein, a vegetable, a sauce, and a miscellaneous ingredient.
Protein is minced beef.
Vegetable is lettuce.
Okay, lettuce and beef.
Yeah.
Fish sauce.
And our miscellaneous is dark chocolate.
Oh no! Right, here we go.
Beef
and dark chocolate. Lettuce cups
with fish sauce dressing.
So it's using a few other ingredients in the store cupboard as well. Except it's now written you a 7-step method with full weights and measures for a recipe.
Oh, I don't know.
Still a bit odd to me.
Right, let's get ingredients. So do we need to do some prepping first?
We need to do some prepping first.
So I think what will be interesting here is to see how much of the thinking it's been able to do for you in terms of the prep, the method, the weights and measurements, the seasoning, the cooking times and temperatures. See how close it can get to what perhaps a chef would do automatically when given those ingredients.
The only thing about what it tells you about the ingredients and how they want them prepared is it kind of forces you to do this bit up front when there actually might be time in the recipe to do this during a step.
I know that we write our recipes with starting from full ingredients. You process them as you go through.
That's how you cook at home.
Yeah, exactly. And so it really winds me up whenever I look at any other recipes that do it the other way.
This software trawls through something like 8 million documents, articles, websites, and uses that data. So if the majority of recipes are geared up to prep ingredients first, that's probably where it'll end up. So at the moment, you haven't even got to step one.
Nope.
No.
We're just being good boys.
Yeah. 1 yellow onion sliced.
Slice! Look at those slices!
What's wrong
You
with
may as well cut that in quarters.
Wise Barry. So step one, in a large skillet over a medium heat, heat the sesame oil, add the garlic and ginger and cook until fragrant, about a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, bearing in mind, this is going to use the American terms and imperial. Already, it knows that you have to use the fish sauce, so it's chosen an oil that might also be associated with that part of the world.
Haven't read the entire recipe, but the ingredients look sensible. It's just the chocolate I'm working out how they're going to squeeze it in. Add the minced beef to the skillet and cook, breaking it up into small pieces until browned and cooked through. About 8 minutes. Season with salt and pepper.
How much minced beef, Baz?
1 pound.
So what we're now seeing is normal home cooks deal with imperial.
So how many ounces in a pound?
Oh, come on, pub quiz trivia.
I don't know. Why would I even know that? There you go. Got it. 1 pound of minced beef going in.
So interestingly, what it's done is base it on obviously imperial. So we are looking at US measurements, and it's asked for a pound, which not ideal if you're buying UK packet sizes, because we'd have typically 500 grams, which is why you've now got some left over. You can probably throw that in the spirit of things. We probably wouldn't want to leave that tiny amount left because it would be wasted.
Do you want a spare meatball for later on, or should I throw it in, Jay?
Throw it in.
Meanwhile, in a small bowl, whisk together fish sauce, rice vinegar and sugar until the sugar has dissolved. Whisk to combined. Once the beef is cooked, is it cooked?
Pretty much.
Add the chopped dark chocolate to the skillet and stir until melted and fully incorporated. This is the bit, Jay.
Dark chocolate in nicely spiced, rich sauces. Mole style is great. I've never really had chocolate from sort of the Southeast Asian influence of flavours, but that's the challenge we gave it: fish sauce and chocolate.
Once it's melted and fully incorporated, to assemble the lettuce cups, place 2 lettuce leaves on each plate, spoon the beef and chocolate mixture into the centre of each lettuce leaf. Not very cuppy, are they?
No, we could have got cuppier lettuce.
With any bit of software, it requires inputs, and it's only going to be as good as the inputs you give it. So when we put in lettuce, it presumes this lettuce could be cupped.
Jamie, it's not looking great, this. Right, okay, now, chuck on your beef.
Hang on a second, are we not cooking the onion? Are we just going in with raw onion?
We'll get to that.
Right.
If you're enjoying this, there are some small things you can do that make a big difference to us. Like the video. Subscribe if you aren't. Click the notification bell and select all. Thanks.
In terms of cupping, you filled the cups, but we have to use all of that. It gave us a very precise measurement.
Right. This is just going to be minced on
Remove, trust me, I'm good at this bit. Remove all intelligence.
The beauty here is as a normal home cook, you've opened up your fridge and cupboards, you found 4 ingredients that you want to use up, you've plugged it in and you've let the software do the rest. It's now quite painful to cook using that information and not apply the chef logic.
Right. I've now done what I would consider to be Jamie.
Jamie, there's leftovers.
Keep going.
Oh, God.
You've still got a whole onion and a whole pepper to put on yet.
Top with the sliced red bell pepper and onion.
That onion's completely raw.
No, raw onion's completely fine as long as it's sliced nice and thinly.
To be fair to Jamie, it doesn't specify how thinly to slice it. And to be fair to the software, we quite often finish a dish with a little bit of raw onion. It gives it a real acidity and crunch and pepperiness. We wouldn't use a whole onion in that instance. It's normally maybe a quarter, where we've used 3/4 in the rest of the recipe.
That's a lot of onion.
I was worried when it started to spit out that precise ingredients list and method that we might be out of a job in the future. And despite the fact there is some kickback on AI technology and software, and not everyone is comfortable in the way it trawls information and repurposes it, I'm feeling more comfortable now.
You've not tasted it yet.
Okay, now we have to drizzle over the fish sauce dressing and then add your fresh coriander, which just says chopped, and it's optional and doesn't tell you how much.
Right, well let's see if we can get some sexies of it, and then we'll have a taste. Let's see what it actually tastes like.
Cheers.
Yeah.
With that dressing, the flavour combo is actually really good.
I actually really like that. And the raw onion, although there's a lot of it, adds that freshness.
It needs to be there, but in smaller quantities.
I was worried about the chocolate, but the sweet fish sauce actually balances things out. That's not that bad.
Yeah.
Certainly, I think if I was cooking the dish, I'd have wanted to cook out the peppers and onions a bit more. Maybe keep a third back for that raw onion, that is a nice touch. And perhaps the ratio of lettuce cups to beef is slightly off. But as a concept and idea, it's pretty good. What it's done really nicely is inspire a new dish based on the inputs.
So far, for inspiration, tick. For execution, question
Couple of
mark.
question marks, yeah.
The good thing about the software is you don't just have to put in one input and then follow along. You can ask it other questions. So perhaps ask it how many this is going to serve, how long it's going to take, and what equipment we need. Just so you know, it took you just under half an hour.
This recipe should take about 20 to 25 minutes to prepare and cook. This includes the time it takes to brown the minced beef, melt the dark chocolate, and prepare the fish sauce dressing. What equipment do I need for this recipe? You will need the following equipment: a large skillet or wok for cooking the beef and chocolate,
Yes,
a small bowl for mixing the fish sauce dressing,
sure.
a cutting board and knife for chopping the dark chocolate, garlic, ginger, red bell pepper, yellow onion and cilantro, optional, measuring spoons for measuring out the ingredients, and
Yep.
serving plates for the lettuce cups.
Didn't mention the grater to grate the garlic. The
I
ginger.
didn't mention a whisk.
It said whisk, but it said the verb to whisk. I presumed it meant the actual utensil as well. But,
Okay, yeah.
okay.
This recipe will serve 4 people as a main dish or 8 people as an appetizer. I think that's a really decent effort.
For a computer.
Yeah.
Should we try one more?
Yes, let's really test it.
If you like this kind of thing, then you'll love our Sidekick app. Inputs from chefs are used to generate multiple inspiring meals from just one shopping list, smartly using up every ingredient you buy.
You're gonna love me, you're gonna love me, you're gonna love me. You're gonna love me.
Cook your first meals for free to try it out today.
You're gonna love me, you're gonna love me, you're gonna love me.
Same game, different categories based on what we had in the fridge. This time, protein, a selection of dairy options, oils and miscellaneous.
Our protein is crab.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yep.
Dairy, blue cheese.
Oh.
Trust you to pick that one.
Our oil is sesame oil.
So we used sesame oil in the last recipe, although it wasn't the
They
input.
suggested it, yep.
Digestive biscuits. Blue cheese and crab dip with digestive biscuit crust and sesame oil. What? This is a pudding.
Do you remember we had a lot of pimento cheese and beer cheese dip in Kentucky, which often had sweetened crackers? I wonder if it's a bit like that, but with a blue cheese element.
So we've got a dip.
You've not asked it for a dinner or a meal or a dessert. You just asked it for a recipe. So there's the recipe.
Can you give me UK measurements?
Here's
the recipe using UK measurements.
Excellent. We'll get you some ingredients and we'll see how this one turns out.
Okay, so preheat the oven to 180 and grease a 23 centimetre pie dish.
Is that about 30? It's about.
It's about 12 inches, I think.
23. Boom.
23. Wow.
That's a solid 9 inches.
All right, grease it. Go, go, go. And then I'll do this bit. In a medium bowl, mix together blue cheese, crab meat, mayonnaise, sour cream, heavy cream, sesame oil, salt and pepper.
Again, this is now a recipe that hasn't considered the packet sizes you're buying ingredients in, which is where so much food waste happens as a result of recipes not geared up to thinking about how you buy ingredients.
Right, you mix that together. I need the scale, so for my digestives. 215 grams of digestives.
You're making your buttery biscuit base
Or topping.
into the bottom and up the sides.
Oh, so yeah, we are making
We're making cheesecake base.
There you got cheese,
The fishy cheesecake.
fishy cheesecake.
Because the blue cheese, this has turned ever so slightly green. It's a really interesting mix. I would never in a million years thought of doing that. I still don't quite understand how it's all going to turn out. Press that down into the tin and push up the sides. So once the biscuit's in, pour the blue cheese and crab mixture into the crust. Bake for 25 to 30 minutes.
Until the filling is hot and bubbly.
Now the blue cheese will obviously melt a bit more.
It's going to loosen, isn't it, rather than thicken?
Well, it's still technically a dip. So I don't really know what the base is. It's an odd one.
Into the oven.
I was confident until it was all in the pie thing. And
Knowing
now,
the ingredients, I'm not against the blue cheese and crab and sesame dip, especially when it's baked, and I can imagine pulling it out and serving it with some char-grilled sourdough bread to dip in or some crudité. I think that would be really nice. It is odd to have put it into a biscuit crust, but then we put those ingredients in and said you have to do something with digestive biscuits. So, you know, I don't think as a chef I would have put those together, but that's the thing we challenged it with.
oh, Jamie.
It feels like it's souffled.
It looks like it's risen, but it hasn't.
I think what it's done is taken two excellent things and in its AI intelligence presumed they'll work together. A hot blue cheese and crab dip
And
and a cheesecake, which would need to now set before being sliced, for sure.
It just says, sprinkle the sesame seeds and serve hot with additional digestive biscuits if desired. Enjoy. It holds together with the crust. It definitely has split below the surface. Oh my goodness. So you've got a lot.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It smells a lot more blue. The first taste is crab, and then you're left with blue cheese.
And the sweetness of the digestive biscuit just tops it off.
That is not great, but I can see what it's trying to do.
I'm not a blue cheese fan. I'm reliant. The sweetness is helping me, but actually making it a worse dish.
Yeah.
That's horrible, actually. No, stuff it. No.
We deliberately picked 4 words that were quite random. I would love to see what it did if you put in eggs, chorizo, pepper, and cheese. You know, more common ingredients we all have that normals might need help with. We did throw some curveballs out there, and as a chef, I'm not sure what I would do with those 4 ingredients
No,
to
the thing
make
is-
a better option.
AI is very smart, but the smartest thing it should have said is don't bother.
Those ingredients were never really going to work. I would love, and perhaps it's a future exploration, to see what would happen if you opened your normal's fridges at home and picked out some ingredients to play with.
I think it's great when your mind's blank and you've got
Yeah.
nothing. You need somewhere to start,
Yeah.
you need inspiration.
So over to you guys, comment down below, how do you think that little experiment, 2 recipes went, and maybe make suggestions for how we could use AI in the future.
This is definitely not the end of AI, is it? There's a lot more testing to do.
It's just the beginning.